Commercial banks in Nigeria have resumed, of course, the use of a debit card abroad for transaction in foreign currencies. What is the implication of this? It first started with Providence Bank, but now many other banks, UBA, almost all the commercial banks have resumed that operation. What is the benefit? And of course, what is the implication as well? Let's hear from Muktar Mohammed, the CEO of Finance with Muktar. He joins me via phone from Lagos. Good morning, Muktar.
Good morning, Yusuf. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's begin to look at this. Let's look at the reason why it was suspended in the first place. What do you think was the reason why it was suspended? Has those reasons been addressed so far?
Well, Yusuf, you have to look. The reason why it was suspended was because the banks felt that they didn't have enough of liquidity to meet up the FX liquidity, because the depends only on the CBN to give those liquidities. And you know, at that time, oil price was down, our reserve was down, foreign direct investment, portfolio investment was down. And also there was the area of abuse where rand tipping, and that also was a challenge. So I think that was the main reason why those things were support. Basically, I think the main reason was more or less that banks did not have liquidity. Remember then it started with making it less than maybe $100 per month, $100 per quarter, and then we moved to at the end of the day they couldn't do it any longer. But I think it was largely driven by liquidity issue.
Yeah. In terms of benefits now, what do you think is largely going to be the benefit for especially customers who have been deprived of this transaction for so long?
I think the retail aspect of the FX market are the ones that will benefit more, especially the SMEs, the end users. I think that they want to benefit more from this. I'm so excited for the SMEs and the MSMEs also, because they are the ones that have really been hard hit by this, because some of them could not do their transaction online. They have to source third party. They have to source for dollar dominated. They have to look for FX to put to pay into the dollar card for them to be able to do business. I think it's very good then for those that are traveling. It's not easy again for you to just transact your business with your Naira card, and it's at the official rate, which may be making it more exciting again. And also it also helps the bank bottom line. Also remember that once you do this transaction, also especially if you withdraw from ATM card abroad, the bank also have their charges. So I think, and again, it's also good for Nigeria. So what it means that we are back to be those that are in the heart of the global economy.
Indeed, but there is a caveat, Muktar. The transaction is also subject to availability of foreign currency at the point of payment. What do you do in that regard when you are about to make payment and you are told that there is no availability of FX?
That is a challenge, Yusuf. That's a huge one, and I think that's why we'll have to wait and see how this plan out. But like I always say, I think it may be a challenge with the tier 2 banks, but I don't think it should be a challenge with the tier 1 bank, because they are washed with a lot of FX liquidity, especially those that have global licenses. So it might not be a major problem for them, but for the tier 2 banks, I know that it could be a problem for them in terms of that. And again, that also will not be good for the customers if you are so confident that at the point of purchase you have, and then at the end of it, they say no FX. So I think that is not good. I think what they need to do, they need to come out with clarity to let people know what you should expect, whether there was availability, maybe monthly review to tell, or weekly review to say, look, we have FX or we don't have FX.
All right. There's also a limit that some banks have also placed. Some have placed about 1,000 Naira a limit, or $2,000. $1,000 or $2,000 a limit within a quarter. A situation whereby you are making a purchase, and of course sometimes what I have also experienced is that when you are trying to pay with your debit card, the value, I mean the amount you charge, sometimes the discrepancies between the dollar and the Naira, it's even in most cases higher than what you have in the regular market.
Yes, Yusuf, that's what I said. Those have to do with the charges also from the vendors. I would say that it's from the vendors. I think there's a lot of work to be done there. A lot of Nigerians are still not confident even using those cards. But again, it's just good for the larger market that things are happening, and that could help drive down the exchange rate price, because a lot of Nigerians that used to from the market to look for FX will not be doing that again. That's for me. That's just the good news about it. But like you said, yes, there's those descriptions, and I think the CBN will really need to work, because again, it's not supposed to be so. There should be a clear picture from the website or from the CBN side. What is the exchange rate? And that is what the bank should treat on those days. And any bank caught and doing things outside what was agreed should be punished. And that will serve as a deterrent to a lot of the banks not to do that, because customers are being exploited sometimes. So I totally agree with you. And that might be the challenge, whereby some bank customers will still prefer to have the dollar rather than just carry their card.
Carry debit card, absolutely.
Yes, debit card, because again, you also have those challenges of infrastructure. Maybe they say they cannot commit at that. So there's still a lot of work to be done. But I think in the journey that I've started, what we've seen over that it improves as time goes on. The banks that are putting restrictions, it has always been like that. Even before now, if you go to the banks, you want to get the PTA to travel, the maximum they can give to you is 4,000, and for that quarter. And also in terms of ATM transaction, and also that they have minimum. I don't think it's new, but sometimes they start from this, what you just say, from 1,000 to 2,000, and then they keep on improving as liquidity improves.
Oga Muktar, we see a big bank like GT Bank placing a limit of $1,000 for a quarter. A quarter is 3 full months. And you're asking someone that they can only use, $1,000. Take $1,000 through the debit card for a whole quarter. Does it? Do you think this is going to create a situation whereby people will now begin to have a duplicate, debit cards, whereby they can actually do more than, because if you have like 5 debit cards, you can do like $5,000 a quarter, depending on the bank you're using?
Of course, that was normal. That is what normally happens, Yusuf. So I don't think it will be new. But I think the point is, like I said, is availability first. Let's start with the little availability that we have, then we can begin to move it. I'm not too sad about it. What they are trying to do in terms of making it available at the cost they are making it available now. For me, I think it's good. We start from there, then we can move, because it's better than now. You know what that would do to the extent is, most of the SMEs don't need so much of a quarterly. They just need to pay their subscription. They need to pay for one international training or their that, and they've not been able to do it. They're program that the main challenge with the exchange is that SMEs that need just $500, I need $100, I need $200. So if they are able to use their card to pay for some of these subscriptions, they use their card to pay for some of these training, that will reduce the pressure on the FX market, and that also could bring down the exchange rate. And once that exchange rate comes down, then it will add more liquidity into the sector, because a lot of people will now be having more confidence in the sector and be able to bring out their FX, and those in the diaspora will now begin to limit.
Yeah, okay, all right. That's where I was going to. Mr. Muktar. There's going to be high demand based on this new move now. The demand for FX is naturally going to increase. Do you think that will have a positive effect on the Naira?
I don't think the demand for FX will increase. What we will see, we should say, is the pressure will decrease. Because again, the Naira cannot be able to absorb, because like you said, the challenge will be how much can we absorb? We have the liquidity to absorb enough. Because again, a lot of people need $200. So they will not be able to use their Naira debit card. But like you said, the challenge will be if there's no availability, and then you want to use that, you have to queue. That could also now have a negative impact, and could also see the Naira exchange for a higher price. When that is not working, so they will still go back to the FX market, and then the demand in that space will be high, and so the price will definitely go up. I think what we need to do is to see how much the bank can handle it, the volume that they will get at now. And again, it's happening at the very time whereby a lot of Nigerians are traveling for the summer. So that could also be very, very tough for the banks to meet up the FX demand. But like I said, it's better to start somewhere than not to start at all.
It's indeed better to start somewhere than not to start at all. Let's look at, I'm concerned about the impact really on the local currency. Like I did say earlier, when the demand for FX is high, because I'm looking at maybe the numbers of people that would demand for dollar now is going to be high. Unlike in the past where there was restriction, people were, using the unofficial channel to get FX and of course do their business. But now that we have it on official channel now, do you think there's going to be a lot of, people are beginning to raise some concern that, oh, this may actually affect the value of the Naira?
It will affect the value of the Naira positively. That's what I think. It could be what people are saying. It could be people are saying, look, it could affect the value of the Naira negatively. But for me, I think it will affect the value of the Naira positively because it will reduce a lot of pressure on the Naira. But we don't know how much, like I said, it all boils down to how much the liquidity that these banks have. So I think it will increase the value of the the demand for we will reduce the pressure on the FX market, and that will see that have a positive impact on the exchange rate.
So what will be the implication for the BDCs operators in this regard as well?
Yusuf, the market is now a level playing field, so everybody will have to play the market. And so the BDC also will have to up their game, maybe have more FX. Remember that they have the tool to recapitalize. So they also could be a big player in this because, again, when they recapitalize, they're able to have FX. Once these banks are not able to meet up, a lot of people will still come to the BDC. I think a lot of Nigerians are more confident in the BDC because the BDC is going to give you that money cash, and you know that cash is better than the cash that you are not so sure about if the FX will be there or not. So I think they have a huge role to play, and I think they will definitely benefit from it, especially if they are able to meet their recapitalization.
All right, let's look at the impact on the capital market now, because this has also opened windows for foreign investors who want to bring in their money. What do you think is going to be the effect positive now on the Nigerian capital market?
The effect will always be positive on our capital market, Yusuf. So I'm excited about that foreign direct investment, like you said. But again, we've been seeing foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment. We've not really seen so much of foreign direct investment. So maybe this could be a game changer, but we'll see more inflow from the foreign direct investment. The capital market, I think the capital market has thrived more without the foreign investors. And, I'm one of those that are so excited about that. But now they are coming in, and that is helping to sustain the bullish funds in the market and also begin to give us a true value of our equity and also help our market to stabilize. So I think it's good for us. The impact on the capital market is very positive. That means a lot of FX will find their way to the market and return into the FX market, and that will drive price up and also boost the demand for FX. And Yusuf, you also shouldn't forget that some of the banks also will soon be doing their fundraising, and most of them, when one bank does it, you are very sure that the second one will start very soon. So with GTB now being listed in the UK, hopefully we'll see a lot of them following suit.
All right, we'll see a lot of them following suit. Now, let's largely look at the market performance so far. What do you make of the performance that we saw last week? And of course, the new week, what's your outlook?
The performance of the market last week is not surprising. We expected it. A lot of people are anticipating the results, the half-year results, especially from the banks, and they come up with a circular to make investors feel that they will still be paying dividends. Remember that was a concern for investors, but most of them are in a closed period, and they say that during this period, what they are considering is payment of dividends, and that has also helped in seeing some of those prices recover and are also on the high at the moment. So definitely, second half result is what a lot of investors are waiting for to see the direction of the market. I think for the direction of the week, I'm still positive about it, especially the financial stock. I'm positive about it, and also where we expect numbers from some of these companies that know the financial stocks. We are very happy results. MPC meeting also is something we are putting our eyes towards to see what will come out from there. From now, we are beginning to see a point out to what will come out, because we see the rate is going down, and so that also could be an advantage for the equity market especially.
All right. Mr. Muktar, before I let you go, fixed income market rate is dropping. Do you see a corresponding drop again in MPR when the CBN meets?
I wish I have that crystal ball, Yusuf, because again, with the MPR, with the MPC, you never can know what to expect. For ordinary, I think we should be looking for a rate drop. But it might or it might not. But one thing I'm certain about is it's almost time for us to see that drop.
Muktar Mohammed, CEO Finance with Muktar, thank you for your time. We appreciate your contributions.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll actually give you some graphical illustration of how some states in Nigeria have performed in terms of e-governance and, of course, accountability and, of course, others. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we'll give you this graphics illustration of how states are performing in terms of the governance performance index, and of course the focus is actually on the areas like e-governance, transparency and accountability. Of course, we look at the top 10 performers here. We have a Zamfara State leader table there. Zamfara State is top there at 90%. Zamfara State is in northwest Nigeria, doing so well there in terms of e-governance performance, topping the table there. Of course, if you look at what we're looking at, the e-governance performance, we're looking at the issue about e-governance, transparency, and of course, accountability. And we see the state like Zamfara State doing 90%. This is a very good one for Zamfara State. Moving on, you'll see Delta State. Delta State is in South Nigeria, coming second there at 70%. 70% is what Delta State has recorded in terms of their e-governance, transparency, and accountability. That is a very good one for Delta State there. Following Delta closely there is Anambra State. Anambra State is in the southeast Nigeria, 65.5% in terms of its compliance with e-governance, transparency, and accountability. Of course, a lot there that still need to be done for them to get to 100%. Of course, when you see state like Zamfara State at 90%, you expect that, of course, others who are following need to do quite a whole lot to catch up as well. Niger State is there at number 4 in terms of top performers. There we have Niger State at number 4, 65.1%. Ekiti State is at number 5, 64.5%. A very good one there for Ekiti State, the first state in the southwestern Nigeria to occupy that position. We also have a Niger State there from the north central doing so well in that regard. Akwa Ibom State is another second south state that is there in that position. Of course, very good one for Akwa Ibom State. There 64% is recorded. A lot need to be done for them to be able to get to that threshold of at least 95% or 100%. Of course, following Anambra, Akwa Ibom, there is Lagos State, the center of excellence for Nigeria. A lot of people expect Lagos to be at number 1, but they were beaten to it at by Zamfara State. Of course, they are here at number 7. Many people do not expect that. When I saw that, I was surprised myself. Of course, Oyo State is there at number 8. The third southwestern state in that number, 61% it recorded. Enugu State, the second southeastern state there, 56.5% it recorded. And of course, Borno State from northeast Nigeria, 54% there. so much there. I mean, if you want to look at it, there's more like a federal character here. Almost all the geopolitical zones are well represented. The south, the north west is here. We have the south, we have the southeast, we have the north central. Of course, we have the southwest, and of course, we also have the northeast as well, all represented there. If we look at the middle performers, those who are not, down the ladder, who are also not doing badly there. We have them there. Kwara State is there at number 1, 53.5%. Abia State is there, 52%. Ondo State, 51%. Nasarawa State, 50.5%. In terms of e-governance, transparency, and accountability, the record is not so bad as well. Osun State is there at 49.5%. Ogun State, 48.5%. Kano State is on that list, 48.5%. Kogi State, 48%. Edo State is at number 9, 47%. And of course, Jigawa State, 46.8% there in terms of performance. They're talking about the middle top 10 performers in the areas of e-governance, transparency, and accountability. But let's look at the worst 10 performers now. In this regard, those who are at the bottom 10 now, we have Bauchi State. Bauchi State is right down there as a number 1, 44%. Ebonyi State from southeastern Nigeria is there at 42%. Not doing so good there for a state like Ebonyi State, where we had quite a whole lot of improvement in terms of governance. Well, that is still debatable. A lot of people have argued that as well. Katsina State, one of the premier states in this northwestern Nigeria, is also there at number 3 in terms of the worst performance. 41.5% there it recorded there. Gombe State is there at number 4, 40%. KB State, another state from the northwest, is there at 34%. Plateau State, 33.5% is there at number 6, and not what one would expect there. Of course, we have Rivers State is among the worst performers in terms of e-governance, transparency, and accountability. That says a lot about the governance structure in that state in the last couple of years. 30% is recorded there. Benue State from North Central is there at 25%. Down there, Yobe State, 22%. And of course, the worst on that list is Kaduna State, recording only 10%. Distant 10th, you will say, if you look at the worst 10 performing states in terms of e-governance, transparency, and accountability. Well, if you are from any of these states, that is what your state is doing in terms of the areas that we talked about there. You need to, quite a whole lot needs to be done for them to be able to get to that top, where we can actually have a transparency, where you can easily log on to the website of your state, and of course all the transactions, all the procurement, and all the projects can actually be open for you to see. A lot need to be done in that regard. And it's on that note that we wrap up this show for today. We'll be back again here tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogu.